We all face giants, right? These overwhelming challenges that just cast a long shadow over our lives, and they make us feel small, outnumbered. But what if the key to winning wasn't about being bigger or stronger? What if it was about a completely different kind of power? Okay, let's dive into this, and we're going to start with an incredible battle from the natural world.
So this battle, it takes place in a world where just surviving is a full-time job. And believe it or not, there's a lesson in strategy here that might just totally change how you see your own giants.
So I want you to picture this. A tiny army of ants, and there's this rhythm to their march, a kind of calm, coordinated unity. They're all moving as one, totally focused on a single mission.
But then, everything changes. That calm is just shattered. A shadow falls over the path, a sudden disruption that just screams danger. And out of that shadow comes the giant, a challenger that seems completely insurmountable. It's bigger, it's stronger, and way more aggressive. Honestly, the size difference alone is just staggering. And the reaction is exactly what you'd expect. Pure chaos. The small ants break formation and they just scatter, fleeing for their lives. For a moment, it looks like a total defeat, like the giant won before the fight even started.
And this is where the story completely turns. They don't keep running. Against all instinct, these scattered little ants, they stop, they turn around, and they come back together. You realize this isn't just a reaction, this is a decision.
And right here, a transformation happens. The scattered, panicked individuals become a single, strategic force. They surround the giant, climbing all over it, overwhelming it not with their individual strength, but with their collective, coordinated power. And this reveals such a powerful lesson from nature. The tiny ants won because they were united. Their strength wasn't in their size, it was in their swarm. They faced the giant together.
It's a fantastic story of overcoming the odds, but it really makes you wonder, what about us? What happens when our giants aren't giant ants? What happens when the battles are fought silently, inside of us?
So let's make that shift. Let's move from the battlefield of the natural world to the often invisible struggles that we all fight on the inside.
These are the giants of our modern lives. And they don't charge at us, but man, they can feel just as overwhelming. Things like job loss, illness, heartbreak, a world that just feels unstable, and that constant, low hum of anxiety.
When we face these giants, what we're all really looking for is peace. Now, the world tells us peace is the absence of trouble. Good circumstances, no problems. But that's so fragile. The source material offers a different view, a peace that is about the presence of God in the trouble. So it's not based on what's happening, it's based on who is with you.
And this quote from the source really highlights that fundamental difference. It's talking about a peace that isn't some gift for a perfect storm-free life. No, it's a gift that's designed for the storm itself.
So how do we find this sturdier peace? Well, the source material lays out a really clear, actionable plan. Think of it as a regrouping strategy for our own internal battles.
Here it is. It's a simple 3-step roadmap. First, pray instead of panicking. Second, fix your mind on trust. And third, choose gratitude. All right, let's break each one of these down.
First up, pray instead of panicking. This is such a powerful reframe. What if anxiety isn't a life sentence, but it's actually a signal, a trigger, just reminding you that it's time to communicate, to present your requests instead of trying to carry all that weight by yourself?
Second, fix your mind on trust. Peace follows focus. It's that simple. And this quote from Isaiah gets right to the heart of it. Where you choose to fix your mind, on the chaos or on a foundation of trust, that directly determines your stability. A steadfast mind, it says, leads to perfect peace. And third, choose gratitude. Now this is so important. Gratitude is not pretending everything is okay. It's acknowledging the pain, the difficulty, the giant in front of you, and then actively refusing to let it have the last word. It's really a defiant act of hope.
And the result of this 3-step strategy, it's a peace that, as the source says, transcends all understanding. Meaning, it's a peace that doesn't have to make sense on paper. It's like a guard for your heart and your mind when the world outside feels like it's completely falling apart.
Okay, so how do these two ideas, the swarm and the stillness, actually connect? How does the ant's strategy of unity relate to our own search for peace?
Remember that moment the ants regrouped?
That is what this strategy is. It's the decision to stop scattering in a panic and to intentionally come together around a new focal point: prayer, trust, and gratitude, to find stability right in the middle of the chaos. Ultimately, this kind of peace, it's not some flimsy umbrella that gets blown away by the first gust of wind. It's not an escape plan. It is an anchor for your soul, dropped deep, holding you steady while the storm rages all around you. And that leaves us with a final thought to take away. Looking at the giants you're facing right now, big or small, what's just one situation today where you could apply this strategy? Where could you choose to drop an anchor and trade a moment of panic for a moment of prayer?